Hey, what's up, guys? It says something 22, and this is the first show on Crate Junkies. So, welcome everybody who subscribed, came over from Planet of the Geeks. This is where I will be doing vinyl pickups and everything else that I plan on doing. Bad news on my behalf. I had a great camera, and something happened to it, so I now need to get another camera. So we're going to still be using this stupid fucking computer, but let's get into the pickups. We're going to do hip-hop first, then maybe tomorrow I'll do the other stuff that I got. But first we're going to do the hip-hop because it's a lot, and I want to try to get through it as quick as possible. So let's get to it. If you guys are into hip-hop, stick around. If not, wait till tomorrow. There'll be some other stuff. I'm listening to Melvin's Bluey Porch Treatments. You probably can't hear it, but I'm listening to it. Just got that on a reissue the other day, so I'm excited to have that. So let's get to it. First, Bust the Bus. This is the Big Bang. This is sealed copy. Bottom line is, Busta Rhymes, I listened to up to Anarchy. After that, stuff like this, I never picked it up, didn't listen to it. Don't know much about it, so I figured, why not? And they were having a 20% off thing, and it was already cheap, so 20% off of already cheap is like really cheap. So next one, Mobb Deep, same thing here with the money thing. This is America's Nightmare. Same thing too with like you know, with Mobb Deep. Like I listened to them up to the last album I bought of Mobb Deep's was Hell on Earth, and I mean that came out in like 90 something. After that, I never bought another album from them. They just weren't. It wasn't. They weren't the same. A lot of artists like Mobb Deep, Nas, Jay-Z, not Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes stayed true to who he was, but you know, a lot of these artists started rapping about money, bitches, and big screen TVs or whatever. You know, getting a lot of this, kind of took away from what they were. You know, Jay-Z and Nas and Mobb Deep, well, Mobb Deep not so much, more Jay-Z and Nas, you know, they got the money and they started to rap about being rich. No one wanted to hear about that. They liked when Jay-Z first came out and he was, you know, rapping about being hood, you know, or being ghetto, whatever, you know, coming from a hard life, you know, and same thing with Nas, you know. And when they abandoned that, a lot of people abandoned them. You know, I was one of them. I abandoned them. I went to rap that I thought was more realistic. But, you know, not saying that I don't still respect them. And they have made some good albums since then. It's not like they've completely sucked ass. It's just that, you know, I look for meaning in my music. And if there's nothing that I can really grab onto, then I'm not really into it. I don't want to hear about how much money you have, your big house, and your bidet, you know what I mean? Next, Mac 10, The Paper Route. First Mac 10 album I've ever bought, period. I've never really bought a Mac 10. Now, I've listened to Mac 10, I like Mac 10, no problem with him, but I've never actually bought a Mac 10 album. This is 2000, came out in 2000. At the time, you know, things like that were being overshadowed by, like, Eminem and stuff like that. 2000 was, like, M's year. Next is Exhibit. This is Man vs. Machine. Now, you know, I like old school Exhibit, the Foundation, stuff like that. You know, Exhibit was the man. But his recent stuff like this, I don't know much about. Obviously, you know, I took a brief hiatus from hip-hop. Like, I listened to it, but I stayed away from mainstream hip-hop for a long time. And, you know, Bone Thugs-n-Harmony was about as mainstream as it got. You know what I mean? And Eminem maybe as being, you know, as mainstream as I would listen to. Other than that, I would stay away from the Jay-Z's and the T.I.'s and the all, you know, I just wasn't into it. I still really ain't into it, but I'm going back to some of these old artists that I had respect for back in the day and trying to give them a shot with some of their newer stuff that I haven't heard yet. Next, this is Domino. Now, Domino is a West Coast rapper. I wish I had the CD here to show you. I got it over there on my shelf, but he had another album out. I'm not sure if it came before or after this one. This one came out in '96, so I think the other one came before it. Sweet Potato Pie was on it, and a couple other bangers, man. Long Beach. So, like, yeah, just awesome West Coast, quintessential West Coast hip-hop artist right here. Very overlooked, I think. I mean, if you like West Coast sounding shit with not just, like, not all about, like, guns and stuff like that, you just want some, like, laid-back summer type of feeling music, Domino is the man to go to. This guy has one killer-ass voice, and he makes some good music. His other albums, like one of my favorite rap albums of all time. So, next, this is Too Black, Too Strong, MMG, Burn Baby Burn. I kind of got this because, you know, we got the American flag burner. This is on Resist Records. Definitely political. You don't see a lot of that, burning American flags in the front of record covers. This came out in I think I want to say 1990. And for the time, man, doing something like that on a record cover was kind of, you know, risky. You know what I mean? So I figured history-wise, it's pretty cool to have this record. Definitely will throw it on and spin it, see what that's all about. I've actually never heard that or even heard of MMG, to be honest. UTFO, this album is called Lethal. UTFO, you know, being one of, you know, old school hip hop, you know, 80s group. This is a little later. I think this album came out in '89, if I'm not mistaken, or at least late 80s. So it's one of their later albums, which I'm not as familiar with their later stuff. '87, actually. And then you got the front, and there's the back. Yeah, so got that. Here's like my favorite pickup out of these hip hop albums. This is Body Count, Born Dead. Check out that cover. Dead babies and cribs and shit. Look at that. And if you don't know Body Count, Ice-T and his crew, you know, look at them guys. These are guys you don't want your children to be around. These are guys you shouldn't be listening to their advice. You know, this is not what you should be putting in your head if you don't want to be a drug dealer, murderer, fucking gangbanger. But, you know, kids in the 90s were eating this shit up. I mean, this type of stuff changed generations. You know, you got a guy sticking a gun in his mouth. You got a dude with a fucking, like, axe and a fucking guitar and a Jason mask, and Ice-T is looking all brutal and shit. This is one killer fucking record, and it's sealed. It's got a rip right here in the seal, but it's sealed all the way around. It's just got a little plastic that ripped off of here. You can see that. It's like a big spot that's not covered, but fucking cheap, man, and I found it and happy. Next one, Black Moon. This is like Buckshot and the Beat Miners. This came out in, I think, early 2000 or late 1990s. I think around 2000, 2001-ish. I remember seeing the video, 2 turntables and a mic, on like this old school hip hop show that was on really late at night, that showed all underground hip hop music. These guys were trying to hang on to what hip hop was built on. You know, when guys like Jay-Z and Nas and you know, I hate to keep on bringing them up, but they're good examples. You know, turned more towards the money and less towards what, you know, built their career, and they got away from really what built their career. Guys like this, though, were trying to hang on to what hip hop was built on. You know, 2 turntables and a mic. You know, guys like KRS-One, Mos Def, Talib Kweli. I mean, the list goes on of guys who were doing real hip hop, still doing it, and not selling out, basically. And these were definitely, you know, not selling out. DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. This is, you know, I Am the Rapper and I Am the DJ. Double LP. Just a really cool historical find. You know, I'm right down the street from Philly, so Philadelphia artist, Belle Biv DeVoe, DJ, you know, people like that. Well, I don't think Belle Biv DeVoe came from Philly. I don't know if all of them did, but I know. And speaking of Belle Biv DeVoe, right here, Belle Biv DeVoe, Hootie Mac. Now, Belle Biv DeVoe Poison, that album was one of the first CDs I had when I was a kid. I got that for my birthday from my dad. I was into Michael Jackson like immensely, and I guess my dad had the logic, like Michael Jackson's black, and so is Belle Biv DeVoe. So I'll get you Belle Biv DeVoe because at the time I wasn't even really listening to rap. I had nothing but Michael Jackson records. I mean, I had tapes, CDs, 45s, LPs, everything, and all of it was Jackson and Jackson 5, movies, posters. I mean, I was just blown away by that man. And but he got me this Belle Biv DeVoe album, and I fell in love with it, man. I dug it hardcore, and I've always liked them ever since. If you know Boyz II Men, like, they helped out Boyz II Men make their career, and I think to myself, like, where's Boyz II Men now? Because really, they were a great R&B group, and I kind of miss them. I mean, they were good. They were definitely one of my favorite R&B groups of all time. Boyz II Men, ABC, BBD, the East Coast family, man. Never skipped a beat, nah. While cooling on South Street like I do. I have been all my life. Poison Clan, here we go. Rough Town Behavior. I mean, this is what 93 looked like rap. This is 93 rap, man. Every cover you seen was guys with Mac 10s and AK-47s and black hoods, and that's why I picked it up, man, because it's a sign of the times. This record is a sign of the times. This was the in thing, man. I went to record stores just looking for covers like this, to buy stuff like this. Anything with the word Clan in it, man. I was down with that. X-Clan, Wu-Tang Clan, Poison Clan. There was a million of them. But, yeah. Next. Happy. This is the second find. Man, this is Tech 9, man. Tech 9, if you fucking like rap music, if you like hip-hop, and you don't like Tech 9, you've probably got something wrong with your brain. If you're not down with this man, go get this album right here, Angelic. What a fucking amazing album. What a fucking amazing artist. This guy does not quit, does it underground, keeps it real, wasn't helped by MTV or none of that shit. He runs his own record label, Strange fucking Music. Right there, Strange Music. If you don't know that goddamn label, get with it. I mean, seriously, get fucking with it. This man is a genius. He should be Tupac status, bottom line. This guy should have blew up like fucking, Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur, but never did because his hair's red, and he paints his face from time to time. This is the problem with mainstream America and people. They judge books by their cover too much, and what happens is a lot of good music and a lot of good artists get overlooked because of it. Next, we got Redman. This is a 12-inch single of Blowin' Yo Mind. Not to be confused with Van Morrison's Blowin' Your Mind. Definitely not the same type of thing, but I had to point that out because I had it so close. But yeah, 12-inch single of Blowin' Your Mind. Definitely a harder one to find. Next, we got another 12-inch single, Cypress Motherfucking Hill. Hand on the Pump. Hell yeah, man. The Hand on the motherfucking pump. And it's from, Cypress Hill's first full-length LP, man. Killer fucking song. Really happy to have found that. Next, this is another amazing rap record from the 90s. Calvin Broadus, Murder Was the Case. Great soundtrack, I'd say. I don't remember actually seeing this movie. I thought it was supposed to be a movie, but I don't think I ever remember seeing the movie. I might have, but I know I had the soundtrack, and definitely killer. If you're a Snoop fan, fucking a must-have. Definitely a Snoop fan. Snoop has never lost a step. This is Redman's first album. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, check this out. This is fucking fresh. I mean, this is brand new, spanking, fucking Def Jam, inner sleeve. I mean, mint condition. and it was cheap too, man. Good find. Next one, another great find. Outkast, AT Aliens, original, double LP, still in the shrink, loving it. I mean, like, you know, Outkast is one of those groups that didn't have to sell out, you know, because they were who they were, and that was the bottom line. There was no changing for them. I mean, they were who they were, and what they were was perfect. They didn't need to change at all. They didn't need to go with the times. Outkast is timeless. This music, Outkast has always been a timeless band or group or whatever you want to call them. Just fucking amazing. I mean, if you aren't, and I mean you probably are, but if you've never heard Outkast and you're watching this video and you're like, who the fuck are these people you're talking about? Check these guys out, man. Outkast is amazing. Let's start this over. Next, we've got Method Man off of the Tikal, one of his, you know, probably the best Method Man album besides, I'd say besides, what was it? 2000, what was it? Not Armageddon, Judgment Day. I really like Judgment Day a lot. I thought Tikal was a really good album, though. I mean, it was gritty. It fit right in with, you know, all the solo releases that were coming out of the Wu camp at the time. But this is Releasio Delph. I mean, this is, you know, one of the best tracks on that record. And it also has a remix version of Bring the Pain, instrumental and all that other shit. Really cool to have. I'm a big collector of the Wu-Tang Clan. Anything I can find Wu-Tang Clan, I'm going to pick up. There's a lot that I pass up from time to time. But anyway, next is Rotten Rascals, Rotten to the Core. Just another good little hip-hop group that really was never, I mean, they never blew up, but they were damn good. You know, kind of like the Outsiders, and I'm about to show an Outsiders album, actually. You know, they're a lot like, you know, Black Moon, you know, groups like that were really good, but just never really popped to the surface of mainstream, which is good because now you got Sir Mix-a-Lot, Chief Booty Naka. Everybody knows Sir Mix-a-Lot. It was mint condition, very cheap. I figured I'd pick it up. Why not? Next one. This is another group that's just banger. Terror Squad. And the name of this album is True Story. Double LP. You got Fat Joe, you know, Big Pun, and the rest of the Terror Squad, man, ripping it up. They've never slacked. Always kept it real, and still to this day, be kicking some ass. Rest in peace, Big Pun. Next, we got another Busta Rhymes album. This is Genesis. I think this is the one that came up after Anarchy, and this is one that I kind of skipped over. There's a song on here with Mary J. Blige, which looks a little interesting. Rod Digga, Flip Mode Squad, which, you know, I'm a big fan of Flip Mode Squad. Lord Have Mercy from the Flip Mode Squad is my favorite, one of my favorite MCs. Just his voice, Lord Have, you know, he's an amazing ass MC. Anyway, pick that up. That's still sealed. This isn't necessarily like hip hop. You know, it's you know, it's dancey type. You know, it's got a little rap hip hop element to it. But CNC Music Factory. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's on red vinyl. Nothing special. It's on red and yellow. There's one that's yellow, and then there's one that's red. Yeah, it's nothing special though. Just clear, see-through yellow and red. Still got the stickers on it and stuff. Pretty cool find. Next one we got here is Kid and Play, Funhouse. This is from the motion picture soundtrack for House Party, which is like some of the coolest, funniest movies, you know, from the late 80s, early 90s. I think they're 90s, like early 90s movies. I mean, I used to rent those and watch them with friends and stuff when I was a kid, so. Next one, this is a sealed copy of The Mad Rapper. Famous tracks off of here would definitely have to be Eminem's Stir Crazy, which is just a really amazing, dope-ass Eminem track. And then also How to Rob the Industry by 50 Cent. which stirred up a little conflict when he released that. And it's back when 50 was 50, you know, and not like the 50 he is now. You know, he changed a lot. You know, I like, you know, he's another guy that really changed a lot. You know, he came, when he was first came out, 50 Cent made, you know, some great tracks. When he was underground before he blew up, he was just, some of that shit was just some of the best hip-hop ever. And, you know, he got a couple bucks in his pocket and just, you know, switched for the worst, man. It happens to the best of them. Next one, Outsiders. The Bricks. Obviously, Jersey natives. Redman's on here, Method Man, Rod Digger's on this album. But, yeah, Outsiders. This is, I think, their second album, if I'm not mistaken. Their first one had a song with M on it, which was a pretty damn good record. I had that on tape. This came out in 2001. You know what? No, I'm wrong. This is the first one. This might be their first record. So, the M one would be the next one after this, which actually, I listened to that one. I never actually heard this one, so I picked it up. Next one, we got Obi Trice, Second Round's on Me. This is obviously his second album. I never heard this one. His first one I did. I really enjoyed and dug his first one. Now this one, I'm not sure if it's going to be as good. I know Eminem produces this album. He's also on one track. There's a 50 Cent on here, Nate Dogg, Akon, Trey Songz, whoever the fuck that is. Next one, we got Slick Rick, I Shouldn't Have Done It. 12-inch single. Next one, we got Eric B. and Rakim, Move the Crowd. 12-inch single. Fucking freshness. Next one, we got Run's House and Beats to the Rhyme. Run DM motherfucking C. Next one, we got, what is this? Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full. Pretty famous album. You know, everybody who collects hip-hop and stuff has it, but this is really good. I mean, it's light scratches, but it's in really good shape. And like most of these 12-inch singles and stuff are only $1 a piece. Next one, we got Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, and this is It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right, and this is the full album, y'all. Definitely a piece of history here. This was another $1 find. The vinyl's, you know, light scratches and stuff, but it's original, man, and it'll play. You know, it'll play. It ain't no deep scratches on there. Nice light, just light scratches. Next one, this is one that I had on my Discogs want list. You know, if you want to go back in history and, you know, do a little research on me, and you would ask me what my top 10 hip-hop records were, this would definitely be in the top 10 for me. This is Keith Murray's Enigma. Man, talk about a motherfucker by himself on a record just kicking ass. One of the strongest, I think, lyricists. Not saying his wordplay isn't the most intricate, but like, you know, he has a dope ass flow and delivery, and he just kick ass and take names, man. There's a song in here, Yeah, with Redman's on there, Eric Sermon, and Busta Rhymes. This is also a gold promotional copy. I paid $1 for this. This is a $20, you know, $10, $15 album. I paid $1 for this. It's in good shape, double LP. If you ain't never heard this and you're into hip hop and rap and shit, you like Def Squad, you like you know, the Four Horsemen, you know, Cannabis, Dat, Corrupt, and you know, check this out, Killer Priest. But yeah, check this out, man. I think you would like this. If you never heard Enigma, definitely, I think Keith Murray's best album, to be completely honest. Personally, that's just what I think. And one of my favorite all-time hip-hop records, definitely. Next one and last one, this is another $1 find. This is Swain King Tech and DJ Revolution, This or That. Everybody knows the song, the anthem. Tech 9, RZA, Eminem, Exhibit, Pharoah Monch, Cool G Rap, J.O. Felony, Chino XL, and KRS-One, all together on one track. right now, go type in the anthem Sway and Tech and watch that music video. If you've never seen it before, you have to go see that music video, and then come back and comment and let me know what you think about it. Actually, I'll put a link. You gotta go see that video if you've never seen it. If you have seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. If you've never seen it, go check the anthem. But other than the anthem, Big Daddy Kane's on here, Cool G Rap, Eminem's on here, some more Cannabis, Redman, you name it, man. Everybody's on this motherfucker. EPMD, Cash Money, Marvelous, Dilated Peoples. I mean, it's just Guru's on here. Fucking everybody, man. Everybody's on here. DJ Premier, you know, the Riz is on here. Everybody, and it's a banger. It's a banger. It's one that I would have got on vinyl, and I probably would have paid $10 to $15 for, and I would have paid that money for it. But I got it for $1. It needs a little cleanup. It's a little dusty, but dude, for $1, you can't fucking beat that. So those are my hip hop finds. I'm sorry to like keep you, you know. Yeah, man, that's, you know, what about that? Some Ghetto Boys. What about that, you know? Mind playing tricks on me. Check that shit out. That's original copy right there. I want to do another video where I show all my hip-hop, because I've been getting a lot, so I'm like, my hip-hop's starting to get up there, man. I'm starting to feel good about it. I'm starting to get some stuff that I like. But anyways, this is motherfucking Crate Junkies. I hope you appreciated and liked this video. Go check out my next video. It'll be all, I mean, I got a lot. I'll show you really quick. All that, plus this is just the cheaper stuff. Plus I got a lot of other stuff too. So, I got a lot to show you guys. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sesame22, and this is the first show on Crate Junkies. So, welcome everybody who subscribed, came over from Planet of the Geeks. This is where I will be doing vinyl pickups and everything else that I plan on doing. Bad news on my behalf. I had a great camera, and something happened to it, so I now need to get another camera. So we're going to still be using this stupid fucking computer, but let's get into the pickups. We're going to do hip-hop first, then maybe tomorrow I'll do the other stuff that I got. But first we're going to do the hip-hop because it's a lot, and I want to try to get through it as quick as possible. So let's get to it. If you guys are into hip-hop, stick around. If not, wait till tomorrow. There'll be some other stuff. I'm listening to Melvin's Bluey Porch Treatments. You probably can't hear it, but I'm listening to it. Just got that on a reissue the other day, so I'm excited to have that. So let's get to it. First, Bust the Bus. This is the Big Bang. This is sealed copy. Bottom line is, Busta Rhymes, I listened to up to Anarchy. After that, stuff like this, I never picked it up, didn't listen to it. Don't know much about it, so I figured, why not? And they were having a 20% off thing, and it was already cheap, so 20% off of already cheap is like really cheap. So, man, he was, you know, rapping about being hood, you know, or being ghetto, whatever, you know, coming from a hard life, you know, and same thing with Nas, you know. And when they abandoned that, a lot of people abandoned them. You know, I was one of them. I abandoned them. I went to rap that I thought was more realistic. But, you know, not saying that I don't still respect them. and they have made some good albums since then. It's not like they've completely sucked ass. It's just that, I look for meaning in my music, and if there's nothing that I can really grab onto, then I'm not really into it. I don't want to hear about how much money you have, your big house, and your bidet. You know what I mean? Next, Mac 10, The Paper Route. First Mac 10 album I've ever bought. Period. I've never really bought a Mac 10. Now, I've listened to Mac 10. I like Mac 10. No problem with him, but I've never actually bought a Mac 10 album. This is 2000, came out in 2000. At the time, things like that were being overshadowed by like Eminem and stuff like that. 2000 was like M's year. Next is Exhibit. This is Man vs. Machine. Now, I like old school Exhibit, the Foundation, stuff like that. Exhibit was the man. But his recent stuff like this, I don't know much about. Obviously, I took a brief hiatus from hip-hop. I listened to it, but I stayed away from mainstream hip-hop for a long time. And, Bone Thugs-n-Harmony was about as mainstream as it got. You know what I mean? And Eminem maybe as being, as mainstream as I would listen to. Other than that, I would stay away from the Jay-Z's and the T.I.'s and the all, I just wasn't into it. I still really ain't. Next one, Mobb Deep. Same thing here with the money thing. This is America's Nightmare. Same thing too with with Mobb Deep. I listened to them up to the last album I bought of Mobb Deep's was Hell on Earth, and I mean that came out in like 90 something. After that, I never bought another album from them. They just weren't. They weren't the same. A lot of artists like Mobb Deep, Nas, Jay-Z, not Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes stayed true to who he was, but a lot of these artists started rapping about money, bitches, and big screen TVs or whatever. Getting a lot of this kind of took away from what they were. Jay-Z and Nas and Mobb Deep. Well, Mobb Deep not so much. More Jay-Z and Nas. They got the money and they started to rap about being rich. No one wanted to hear about that. They liked when Jay-Z first came